After a wild night, I got hitched to Jack, a big shot in the Tokyo social circle. In public, he's aloof and preppy, seeming like he doesn't crave much. Behind closed doors, though, he tears up one of my nightgowns every night. On our first anniversary, Jack's teenage crush suddenly divorced and came back to town. That night, for the first time since we married, he didn't come home. The same night, the woman he liked said, if she resembles me even a bit, that's her blessing. That night, I sat awake in our bedroom until dawn. The next day, I sent him my wedding ring along with the divorce agreement. I left a note too. Your skills are actually terrible. I'm giving you a bad review, Jack. I want a refund. When Jack grabbed my wrist, dragging me out of the bar, New York had just seen its first snow of the season. I'm not used to high heels, and I almost slipped on the thin layer of snow. He just bent down and picked me up. By the Bentley parked at the curb, the driver had already opened the back door. The partition inside the car was already raised, and the heating was turned up high. Jack loosened his tie, then took off his jacket. One glance and he saw me curled up on the seat, with the strap of my slip dress already pulled down, exposing half of my shoulder. Grace. Jack almost gritted out my name through his teeth. The car glided smoothly. In the dimming light, I saw his Adam's apple move wildly. A sheen of sweat dotted his brow, and a vein throbbed faintly at his temple. Maybe it was too hot in the car. Maybe there was something bad in the drink someone coaxed me into having earlier. Or maybe Jack's face and body were just too much. Right now, I was burning up with thirst. It felt like ants were crawling through my bones, making me itch like crazy. I wanted him to hold me, to kiss me, to pin me down, as books describe. But Jack had some serious self-control. He draped his jacket over me. We're taking you to the hospital now. Just hold on. But I couldn't hold on anymore. His jacket carried his scent, a faint tobacco smell mixed with unexpected sandalwood. It surrounded me, like adding flammable oil to a burning log. It set everything ablaze. I tossed off his jacket, and went to pull down the other strap. Grace. Jack turned his face away, his voice hoarse. Put your clothes on. Did you hear me? Jack, are you not capable? I leaned in, wrapping my arms around his slim waist, snug against his hot, firm body. Are you just going to watch me suffer? I said, we're almost at the hospital. I don't want to go to a hospital. I don't want a doctor. My face was flushed. Every bit of sanity had vanished, reduced to ashes. Now, all I wanted was for him to save me. You can help me. Why wait till we get to the hospital? My hand moved from his back to his front, then downwards. You can't be just for show, right? I looked up at him, confusion swimming in my eyes. Jack didn't respond. He just reached out, gently brushed the corner of my eye. Grace. Unable to resist, I turned my face, lightly rubbing his fingertips. His hands were long, with pronounced joints, strong. If they were anywhere else on my body, suddenly, I had a misplaced sense of awareness. It didn't seem like New York's frigid winter, but spring, with its flood of surging tides. The air was thick and humid. Jack suddenly bowed his head, his lips cool, while mine were on fire. The moment they met, a soft moan slipped from me. Jack suddenly cupped my face, kissed me deeply. Don't regret it, Grace. My fingers dug into his arm. The illusion of stars on the car ceiling cast a dreamy glow. I couldn't help but lift my face to kiss him. Jack, don't rush. It's all yours. After that wild, reckless night, I avoided Jack for 3 whole days. 3 days after that, he suddenly found me, saying he wanted to take responsibility and marry me. To this day, it's been a year since I married him. Yet, I still can't forget how my heart raced at that moment. I think, in this world, there's nothing as pleasing as a young girl's dreams coming true. But after registering our marriage, when Jack took me to meet his family, I found out they didn't want to accept me. But back then, young and arrogant, I thought those things didn't matter. As long as Jack treated me well, that was enough. In our first year of marriage, Jack was by my side every night, ruining countless nightgowns. He always seemed insatiable. Except during my period, he never missed a night. So, I often secretly thought, Jack must like me, right? Even though he never said those 2 words. Until tonight, our first wedding anniversary, he suddenly went off the grid. At 5:30 in the afternoon, I called Jack's phone, but it was off. I reached out to his secretary, but his secretary said, sorry, the boss instructed not to disclose his itinerary to anyone. Alone, I sat in our marital bedroom for a long time, calling Jack 17 times. His phone was always off. Later, Jack's cousin, Tina, suddenly sent me a location. Grace, curious to know who my cousin's true love is. I drove to the location she sent. Tina was already waiting downstairs. She led me upstairs, out of the elevator, to a room on the 3rd floor. Grace, come in. Tina pushed open the door. The lively noise inside suddenly receded like the tide. Immediately, I spotted the woman at the head of the table, and she looked at me with a smile, but her gaze wasn't kind. After a while, she spoke. "You're Jack's little wife. What's your name?" Tina quickly jumped in. "Lisa. Doesn't she look a bit like you?" Lisa looked at me for a few more seconds. A slight sniffle of laughter followed, her voice carrying a slight mocking undertone. "Even a bit of resemblance is her blessing." Tina and the room burst into laughter. "By the way, Lisa, when is my cousin coming over?" Lisa shyly smiled. "I'll call and check." I stood at the door and instantly held my breath. Jack's phone was always off, but when Lisa called, it went through. She glanced at me, barely hiding her smugness. "Jack, when are you getting here? Everyone's waiting for you." I think I heard the sound of something breaking. Winter in New York is bone-chilling cold. I came out in a rush, just wearing a thin coat. At that moment, I felt the cold enveloping my entire body. I was aching inside, almost going insane, but I couldn't cry. As I turned to leave, I heard Lisa's soft voice. "Okay, drive slow. See you later." By the time I got home, it was already 11 p.m. Standing in front of the mirror, my hands were still a bit shaky. In bed, Jack always liked to hold my face. His fingers gently caressed the corners of my eyes. In moments of deep passion, he'd kiss a small mole by my eye over and over. My eyes are a little round, the corners slightly upturned, with thick lashes. Lisa also has round eyes, but hers are single-lidded, mine are double. And besides that, both of us have a mole in the same spot by the eye. I almost wanted to cry, but in the end, I looked at myself in the mirror, managed a somewhat disheveled laugh. I really like Jack, but I really hate being someone's stand-in. I dialed Jack's number one last time. This time his phone rang, but he didn't pick up. A few minutes later, he sent me a message. "Sorry Grace, I have something important tonight, we'll be home tomorrow." I sat on the floor staring at those two short lines. The screen dimmed, and I suddenly chuckled at myself. But then ice-cold tears fell, one drop after another, onto it. As dawn approached, I went to Jack's study, took off the wedding ring, and put it in an envelope with a draft of the divorce papers. When I was ready to leave, I thought about his absence last night, thought about Lisa's lofty demeanor. I still couldn't resist. Ripped a note from a notepad, wrote a few lines. "Your skills are actually pretty lousy. 365 days a year. Always the same position. I'm tired of it. Giving you a bad rating. Oh, and Jack, I want a refund." I called a local courier to send these things to Jack's office, then packed my belongings and left the marital home. On the way to my best friend Sunny's house, Jack's call suddenly came through. I hesitated for a moment and didn't answer. A moment later, it hung up from that end. Jack didn't call again. He's always been like this, always aloof and distant, hard to approach. Except in bed, there I could see the side of him that stepped down from the pedestal. Jack put down his phone and called his assistant. "Have the driver ready, I need to go home." But the assistant handed him a large envelope. "Boss, this is what Madam sent through the courier." Jack rubbed his temples. His face seemed to soften a little. "Give it to me." He took it, opened it, and the ring fell out first. Jack's expression changed instantly. The wedding ring he and Grace had were designed by him personally. One glance, and he'd recognize it. He picked up the ring and took everything out of the envelope. Seeing the huge words divorce agreement, he only felt the head he had been working through the night with suddenly ache more. Reaching for the divorce papers, his eyes landed on the note. "Your skills are actually pretty lousy. 365 days a year. Always the same position." Jack's face gradually turned cold. "His skills are lousy." Jack lit a cigarette, laughing with anger. Did Grace forget how his shirt and pants ended up a mess because of her? How she shyly covered her face, refusing to look at him. 365 days. Always the same position. Jack thought, if Grace were in front of him now, he'd definitely grab her by the nape and pin her against the window. Even if she cried and begged him, calling him husband, it'd be useless. Coldly, he snuffed out the cigarette. She's quite adept at deflecting blame. He shouldn't have gone soft on her in bed. Jack waved the assistant out. He dialed her number again, but the call was cut off. Jack, keeping patience, called a third time, and this time, it didn't go through at all. Meanwhile, someone from the marital home called him. "Jack, we checked the surveillance. Madam left early this morning. And Madam also deleted her fingerprints from all the door locks." Jack felt like his head was going to split open. He pressed his aching temples. What else did the surveillance capture? "Oh, right. Madam took the puppy with her when she left." Jack laughed in anger again. This is just the sort of thing Grace would do. Even in divorce, she didn't forget to take the dog he bought. She couldn't part with the dog, but she could with him. He's really a case of a man less than a dog. On the third day staying at Sunnis, seeing that I was still in low spirits, she dragged me out to have some hot pot. We strolled through the mall, bought a few new dresses. I'd lost 5 pounds in 3 days. My waist was thinner, but thankfully, my bust didn't shrink. Sunny walked around me twice, clicking her tongue in admiration. "Oh, my bow is still so gorgeous. Fresh like you could squeeze water out of her. Don't be sad over an old man anymore. Tonight I'll take you out for something good, fresh, and lively." Sunny took me to a newly opened bar, but I wasn't really into it. I drank half a cocktail, and Sunny insisted I get up to dance. I was just about to refuse. "Grace," a ringing male voice called out behind me. Instinctively, I turned around and saw Kirk. "Senior, you're back in the country." "Yeah, just got back 2 days ago." Kirk walked over with a smile. "I've been meaning to get in touch with you these last few days, but unexpectedly, here you are." "Kirk, aren't you going to introduce us?" "Sure, such a pretty girl here." Kirk's smile deepened. He came over to me and naturally rested his hand on my shoulder. "This is Grace, the junior I've been telling you about." "Grace, these are my friends from abroad. Just call them seniors." I was just about to politely greet them. Sunny suddenly bumped into me hard. "Sunny," she was frantically giving me a look, her fake eyelashes almost flying off. I followed her gaze foolishly. In the dim bar light, Jack stood not far from me at the bar. He was tall, dressed in a black business suit, with a coat over it in the same color scheme. Standing out among the trendy youngsters, he looked exceptionally distinguished. He stood there quietly, looking at me with a cool indifference. It took me a moment to snap back. I quickly moved a step sideways, avoiding Kirk's hand on my shoulder. For some reason, my heart was beating like crazy. My first thought was, is Jack mad? I was really scared of him being angry. Whenever he's upset, just seeing him take off his watch with a cold face, I knew I was in for it that night. "Grace, what's wrong?" Kirk looked at me worriedly. Maybe I didn't look good, 'cause he reached out to touch my forehead. I hurriedly backed away, almost tripping over a chair. Kirk was close, so he reached out, steadying me by the waist. "Grace, careful." But as soon as his hand touched my waist, my wrist was grabbed. And then a strong force pulled me into Jack's arms. His eyes glanced over the neckline of my dress, and his gaze suddenly tightened. "Jack, let go." I frowned, trying to push him away, but he just wrapped his coat around me. "I don't want your coat." I glared up at him, trying to fling off the coat. Jack pinned me with one hand. He leaned in slightly, and his breath brushed against my ear, warm and teasing. "Grace, I'm too soft with you." Instinctively, I opened my eyes wide. Yet in Jack's eyes, I saw an immense and terrifying possessiveness. I could even feel a beast awakening inside him, about to swallow me whole. It's always been like this. He holds all the cards, and I am ordinary and small, forever passive and timid before him. The fear in my heart was gradually swallowed by grievance. Tears were welling up, threatening to fall, but before they could, he wiped them away. "We'll sort this out at home." Jack said this, then stepped forward, shielding me behind him. It seemed like he was just now really noticing Kirk for the first time, but he only gave him a cursory glance before looking away. "Sunny, I'm taking Grace home. You guys have fun." "Oh, okay, got it, Jack." Sunny responded haltingly, giving me a worried look. Jack said no more. He naturally wrapped his arm around my waist, intending to leave, when Kirk suddenly spoke up. "Jack." Jack paused, looking at Kirk with indifference. "Kirk, what's up?" Kirk met Jack's gaze head on, not intimidated. "Grace doesn't seem like she wants to go with you." Jack chuckled lowly. "Kirk, matters between my wife and I are none of your concern. Grace is my junior, and as her trusted senior. Jack looked at Kirk, a trace of mockery in his eyes. "Wasn't it true, Kirk, that you didn't even make it to our wedding guest list?" Kirk's expression changed drastically. Jack said nothing more, only grasped my wrist and led me away. His long legs took large strides. I was wearing pointed low heels and struggled to keep up. In the past, Jack would slow down to match my pace, but tonight, he seemed truly angry. Beside the car, I managed to pull away from him. "Jack, I've decided to divorce you, so my matters have nothing to do with you, and I don't need you managing me." "Divorce?" Jack laughed coldly. "So, you're doing all this because of that guy, Kirk? What does this have to do with the senior?" I was both furious and frustrated. "Jack, you're blaming me first. I'm the villain." Jack's gaze turned cold. "Grace, you suddenly want a divorce and you're hanging all over Kirk at the bar. Which of these is not true?" "Jack." I was both angry and hurt. I hadn't slept well in days, had no appetite. I'd lost so much weight. And him, he hasn't looked for me for 3 days. He's been staying by Lisa's side, hasn't he? Now he shows up and throws all the blame on me. "Grace, come home with me right now, and I'll forget all of this happened." Jack looked at me from above. His voice was gentle yet commanding and cold. My heart felt like it had fallen into ice, chilled to the core. I didn't want to say anything more to him. I had wanted to question him, wanted to express my anger, but now it all felt meaningless. "I'm not going back with you. Sign the divorce papers, Jack. I'll see you at the Civil Affairs Bureau." Having said that, I yanked off his coat and tossed it back to him. I turned to leave. but Jack grabbed my wrist. "I'm not signing the divorce papers," he said. I didn't respond. I just tried to pry his fingers off. His grip was so strong, I couldn't budge it. Frustrated and angry, I bent down and bit his wrist hard. Jack hissed in pain but didn't let go. Instead, he clamped down harder on my wrist bone and shoved me into the car. "Jack," I yelled, hammering at the door, but the car started moving. Jack looked at me coldly. "Grace, you'd better behave," he warned. "I'm not going back with you. Let me out of the car," I shouted. "Jack, this is kidnapping. I'll report you." He gave a cold, slight smile. In the enclosed car, Jack's tall, strong frame leaned toward me. "Grace," he said, "you can scream and waste energy, or save it for the bedroom. After all, I think you're in for a rough night." I froze, finally understanding his meaning. "Jack, you beast, you pervert," I spat. "Damn right." Jack leisurely adjusted his cuff. "Being a pervert isn't so bad. More interesting than a husband who only uses one position all year long, right?" I clammed up in embarrassment. After all, I was the one who held back, who was shy, always demanding lights off, only in the bed, no change in positions. That was all me. I twisted the truth, just to vent my frustrations. Now, caught red-handed, I'd best just stay silent. When Jack said I'd have a rough night, he meant it. Right from the moment we entered the bedroom, it was a nightmare. The sofa, which I'd chosen for the master bedroom, was a rough, textured fabric. Soon enough, my knees were rubbed red and sore. I couldn't help but sob and beg him to stop. But Jack showed no mercy. "Jack," I gasped, clutching his arm, voice hoarse. But all I got in return was a stinging smack on my backside. "Grace, this is just the first round," he said. I was stunned, then humiliated, and began crying. "Jack, you're worse than an animal. I'll report this as rape. It seems you still have some strength left." Suddenly, Jack scooped me up fully and walked me toward the floor-to-ceiling window. "Then let's skip the break and start round 2. He grabbed my chin, forcing me to look at him. His face, overwhelmingly handsome, was cold and demanding. There was an undeniable lust in his eyes. I cried until my eyes were swollen, my whole body shaking. "I hate you, Jack. You're the man I hate most in the world." His grip on my chin tightened. "Hate me?" Jack towered over me, his handsome face twisted, as if overwhelmed by desire and by my words. He seemed like a different person. "Who do you like then, Kirk? Does Kirk know what you're like now? Does he know how affectionate we've been this year?" I shook my head vigorously. Still, Jack wouldn't let me off. "If not him, then who? The guy from high school who had a crush on you? Or the hotel manager who asked for your Instagram?" I kept shaking my head, too drained to deny it. I had never liked another man. I had been secretly in love with Jack from the start. But I wasn't about to admit that now. Eventually, my vision blurred. The distant lights and stars outside the window blurred, wavered, and shattered. I begged him hoarsely, over and over. Somehow, he coaxed me into calling him my husband again. Only then did Jack show a little mercy. He lifted me off the carpet and placed me back on the bed. I couldn't even open my eyes. I fell asleep as soon as they closed. When I woke up the next day, Jack was already gone. It was broad daylight as I checked the time on my phone. Nearly 11. After washing up, I went downstairs and casually asked the maid, "Where's Jack?" "Mr. Jack left early. Seemed like something urgent," she replied. "Oh, when did he leave?" She paused, thinking. "Around 5 in the morning, I think." I paused with my spoon in mid-air. Tina had sent me several messages. Opening them, I found screenshots from Lisa's Twitter. The tweets were posted around 6 in the morning. Sickly sweet love quotes filled the thread. It read, "Being there for someone is worth more than jewels or cars, or mountains of gold." The picture showed steaming porridge, flowers, and cut-up fruit. Tina commented, "Does my brother have such warm moments?" Lisa responded with a shy emoji. Tina messaged me directly, "Grace, be sensible and step aside. Lisa's kind, but I'm not one to mess with. Don't end up with nothing to show for your efforts." I wasn't all that angry anymore. I even finished eating everything on my plate. Then I picked up my phone and replied to Tina, "Even second marriages aren't rushed. Why are you making a fuss?" After sending it, I blocked her without hesitation. A clown like that didn't deserve a place in my contacts. Just as I was about to leave, I heard a car outside. Jack got out, and I couldn't help but chuckle at myself. Success takes efficient time management, regardless of gender. In that regard, Mr. Jack excelled. After a night of tormenting me, he somehow found energy to be sweet and thoughtful right in the morning. I still made it back. I ignored him and just walked straight out. "Grace," Jack called after me. He seemed a bit tired, rubbing his temples. "Join me for lunch. I just ate." I glanced at him. "If you have time, remember to sign the agreement. Jack looked at me for a moment, didn't say a word, but he handed me a small, delicate box. I'm sorry, I missed our anniversary, but I did get the gift ready in advance. I saw that luxury logo on the box. It hit me hard. I had mentioned once how much I loved their jewelry. He actually remembered, but I didn't reach out to take it. The anniversary is long past. Grace, I'm really sorry about that day. I looked at him. His face was still so striking. I didn't want to cry, but a tear fell anyway. His tie was one I had bought. The tie clip, cufflinks, belt, I picked them all. And he wore all of it when he met Lisa. Didn't he feel any guilt or unease? Stop being mad, okay? Jack touched my hair, then leaned down, planted a gentle kiss on my forehead. But the kinder he was, the more unsettled I felt. Maybe he feels guilty. Stop crying, Grace. He wiped away my tears. He kissed the corner of my eyes too. I suddenly thought of Lisa's little mole by her eye. I pushed him hard, then slapped him. Jack, don't touch me, disgusting. The slap was loud. The staff went silent, shocked. The driver and the secretary stood by, barely breathing. Jack, I stared at him, wanting to apologize, but the words wouldn't come out. He just stood there, no emotion on his face. He watched me steadily for about half a minute, then spoke slowly. Grace. A cold wind blew suddenly. I hugged myself instinctively. Cold snowflakes landed on my face. It's snowing in New York. The first snow of the year. I couldn't help but think of the night of the last first snow. If I hadn't met Jack, would he be with Lisa now? Where would I be? What life would I be living? Would I be miserable? Or move on? I don't know. Jack's expression became normal again, calm to a point of being cruel. There was no emotion in his eyes. It seemed like that slap solved his dilemma. If you really want a divorce, I respect your decision. I'll sign it by tomorrow. He spoke, then handed me his coat. It's snowing, wear this. I stiffly took it. He almost let go the moment I grabbed it and turned to get in the car. The car drove away soon. The snow fell heavier and heavier. I held the heavy coat. My heart felt suddenly empty. The ground was blanketed in white. Everything was silent. Yet I could hear the sound of my tears shattering. I knew that from this moment, Jack and I were completely over. At 10 in the morning the next day, Jack's secretary called me. Jack has already signed the papers. If it's convenient for you. I rubbed my sore throat, feeling weak from a fever, but I forced myself out of bed. It's convenient now. I coughed heavily before speaking. I'll be at the civil affairs office now. There's a part Jack said we still need to discuss. Where is he now? At the office. Then I'm going to his office now. Popped a couple of ibuprofen, and I draped myself in a down jacket to head out. Getting to Jack's company, just as I was about to get out of the car, I suddenly spotted Lisa. She got out of a luxury van, in a cream wool coat, matching beret, with her slim waist and high heels, confidently walking tall and balanced. At just a glance, I could see she was a real beauty. Lisa soon disappeared from sight. I got out feeling dizzy, bundled up in hats and scarves. I looked like a ball. Thinking about Lisa just now, I couldn't help but laugh at myself. Jack probably couldn't wait another minute. That's why he immediately got someone to bring Lisa over. I felt miserable with the fever. My body was aching. I just wanted to sign the papers quickly, get the process over with, and go home, sleep for 3 days and nights. Jack's secretary came down to get me. When I followed him into Jack's private elevator, I overheard a couple of people whispering. Did the secretary pick up Jack's wife just now? What are you talking about? The one who just went up is Jack's wife, right? Yeah. Only a beauty like that would match Jack. The secretary was a bit embarrassed, didn't really look at me, but I wasn't mad. They weren't wrong. Lisa is a beauty. Right then, I probably looked like an ordinary person, just walking around on the street. Jack's office was huge, taking up the entire 27th floor. The heat was up high. Jack rarely wore a white dress shirt. I liked him in white shirts, but he usually preferred dark colors, so he hardly wore them. Too bad, I was feeling too sick to appreciate his looks. And Jack didn't even look up, not even a glance my way. Suddenly, a sharp pain hit my heart. Feeling a bit under the weather, I found a sofa and sat down. My throat was both sore and itchy, and I couldn't stop myself from coughing violently again. Am I sick? A slender hand offered me a tissue. I thanked him and took it. But then, Jack's hand landed on my forehead. Why are you so hot? He looked kind of serious and turned to his desk, dialing an internal line. Have Dr. Zhao come to the 27th floor. No need for that. I already took some medicine, I said. But as soon as I finished, I couldn't help but start coughing again. My chest hurt as if it were being torn apart, and my throat felt like it was being sliced with blades. Medicine won't cut it for your symptoms. Jack pulled me up. Let's get you to lie down in the room and have the doctor give you an 4. No. I shook off his hand. Let's discuss the divorce agreement first. Grace, stop being childish. Jack sounded annoyed. I shrugged, spreading my hands. that's just the way I am. Immature, ignorant, not smooth or sophisticated, just like an annoying kid. Jack, you didn't just meet me today. You're sick. I'm not going to argue with you. Jack seemed to grit his teeth. Let's get you checked out first. Then we'll talk about the divorce. Jack, what's the point? I forced a smile, holding back tears that were about to spill. Don't waste time. Don't keep others waiting, either. Waiting for who? Before I could say Lisa's name, there was a knock on the door. The secretary brought in Dr. Zhao. With others around, Jack and I had to pause our argument. My temperature was checked. It was higher than when I left home, but I still refused before, only asking Dr. Zhao to prescribe some medication. After they left, I asked Jack directly, what's the issue with the divorce agreement? He looked at me for a long time, before handing over the agreement from the drawer. One item was circled, the final ownership of Dola. I got anxious immediately. We agreed Dola would be mine. Before I finished speaking, another fit of agonizing coughs took over. Jack handed me water and some cough syrup. Take the syrup first. I downed the syrup in one go and tugged at his sleeve. Jack, Dola was a gift you bought for me. You said so when you gave it to me. Jack calmly put the cap back on the syrup. Then he gently said, yes, Dola was your wedding gift. But if we divorce, I have the right to take it back. You're being unreasonable. I was so angry, I started crying. It's supposed to be a gift for me. You can't just take back a gift. I don't care about other things, but not Dola. Jack, Grace, this is non-negotiable. Dola is mine. I'm not giving it back. Then there's nothing to discuss. Jack started to walk away, but the office door was pushed open from the outside. Jack, why is it taking so long? I've been waiting forever. Lisa's voice was soft and coquettish. She seemed surprised to see me. Oh, is this a bad time? Jack, I'll wait for you next door. Once you're done here, we can talk. She looked at me with a smile and gave Jack a soft glance before leaving. Jack, don't make someone wait indefinitely over a dog, I said. What are you talking about? Jack looked at me confused. Do I have to spell it out? I pointed to the closed office door. You sign now. Then we go to the civil office to finish things. You'll still have time to register with Miss Lisa today. Grace, what nonsense are you talking about? Jack frowned, his brows furrowing. Our problems shouldn't involve others. I laughed in disbelief. Jack, stop pretending. You bought Dola, I'll return it. But promise me you and your future wife will treat it well. I didn't look at him after those words. Just grabbed my bag and headed out. Grace, explain yourself. Jack hurried to block the door. Are you misunderstanding something? Lisa came for a business collaboration project. I didn't look at him or say anything, just stared at my shoes. Grace, can't we talk directly? Fine. I smiled and looked into his eyes. On our anniversary night, I couldn't reach you on the phone. Where were you? What did you do? And who were you with? I was in meetings all night, he answered. Meetings or meeting someone special? I pressed before he could respond. Lisa called you that night. I heard it. You told her you were on your way, and she asked the driver to be careful. Jack, Miss Lisa is next door. If you deny this, should I go ask her? Jack opened the office door. Come with me. The door to the meeting room was slightly open. As Jack pushed it, Lisa's happy voice came through. Jack, you're here. Grace, you're here, too. Lisa looked a bit embarrassed. Looking between us, is there something? Miss Lisa, isn't this the first time we've met today? Lisa's face turned pale immediately. She avoided my gaze, almost afraid to meet my eyes. After a while, she forced a smile and said, yes, you've been quite busy since I returned to the country. I was a bit stunned. Then Lisa spoke up again. Grace, have you misunderstood something? Jack and I have always been on good terms. I came to the office today, just for a project collaboration. Then Lisa suddenly smiled and looked at Jack. Jack, look at Grace. She's still like a kid. Kids are usually associated with being immature and inexperienced. She was clearly trying to mess with me. I didn't waste words and directly opened a recording on my phone. You're Jack's little wife, named Grace, right? Lisa, doesn't she look a bit like you? Having some resemblance to me is her blessing. When is Lisa's cousin coming over? I'll call and ask. Jack, when are you arriving? Everyone's waiting. Okay, tell the driver to go slow. See you then. As each recording played, Lisa's face turned a shade paler. By the end, it seemed like she could barely stand. Recording someone secretly is illegal. No, these are fake, artificially made. Lisa's face turned bright red, and her words started to get jumbled. Whether it's real or not can be determined. Also, Tina is a witness, isn't she, Jack? You might as well bring Tina over too. I pulled up all the Instagram screenshots Tina had sent me and showed them to him. I've been putting up with her antics for a long time now. Initially, I thought Jack and Lisa had a fling, and I just wanted a divorce to get away from all this drama. So I didn't bother with those actions of Tina. But now that the truth was surfacing, the issues between Jack and Lisa seemed suspicious. Many things needed to be reconsidered. Looking at the information Tina had sent me, Jack's expression turned solemn and serious. After a long while, he chuckled angrily. She must have really enjoyed her comfortable days. Grace, I'll settle things with Tina later. Regarding those things she said and sent, I need to clarify with you. First, Lisa and I are just long-time friends. Second, I never thought of you as her substitute. Also, I don't see any resemblance between you two. Third, I didn't receive any call from Lisa that night. What you heard was most likely fake. Fourth, the person mentioned in her tweet wasn't me. You know well I don't have the time to extend warmth to others early in the morning. I glanced at Lisa, who looked pale. Didn't Lisa fail to deny Tina's comments? Lisa, sweating profusely out of embarrassment, muttered, I didn't say anything either. Tina misunderstood it. I just hadn't had the chance to clarify. Lisa said this, then suddenly glared at me angrily. Grace, I didn't name names, and you misunderstood, biting back at me. Isn't that going too far? You can't just dump your childish conflicts with Jack onto me and accuse me groundlessly. I didn't respond, just glanced at Jack with a smile. This mess you've created, handle it yourself. After that, I turned and walked out. Where are you going? Feeling uncomfortable. I'm heading back first. Back where? Anywhere but the marital home. Grace, whenever you're done dealing with this disgusting mess, I'll consider moving back. Alright, I'll have the driver take you home first. Get some rest, especially since you're unwell. I didn't argue. Health is wealth. Once home, I turned off my phone and went straight to sleep. I felt refreshed when I woke up, and my fever was gone. My little fluff ball was drooling in its sleep beside my bed. Looking at its silly face, I couldn't help but laugh. I cooked some noodles, ate until I was satisfied, and then turned my phone back on. There were calls from Sunny and several from Kirk. Most, however, were from Jack. I ignored him and called Sunny back. Grace, finally you're awake. If you didn't turn your phone on, your man was about to come break down the door. No sooner had Sunny finished speaking than the doorbell rang. I peeked through the peephole and saw Jack standing outside, with Tina beside him, her face swollen and crying her eyes out. I opened the door immediately. Before I could say anything, Tina broke into loud sobs, apologizing. Sister-in-law, I'm sorry, I spoke foolishly. I won't do it again. Dad already taught me a lesson. See, my face is all swollen. Brother also punished me. Sister-in-law, could you talk to him and ask him not to send me to Africa for school? Looking at the usually arrogant Tina, I found her current pitiful state amusing, but her past actions had truly disgusted me. Sorry, I'm grudge holding. Jack had Tina taken away. She needed a lesson and some hard times to learn restraint. Once Jack finished speaking, he tried to enter, but I stopped him. Everything resolved. All resolved. Lisa might face a lawsuit. Mentioning her name soured Jack's expression a bit. 8 actually. She came back this time, just to use my name as a cover to scam some cooperation. Her ex and I were classmates since elementary school, and we got along pretty well. So, you could say we're quite familiar friends. After she divorced her ex, she didn't get much from the settlement, and her parents went bankrupt. Her family wasn't happy about the divorce and demanded a lot of money from her. So she started getting scheming ideas. Tina, who followed her like a shadow since she was a kid, got roped into her plans. I heard that some people have already been scammed during this time. With Tina around, people really believed she and my family were close. Jack couldn't help but scoff at this point. Also, the mole at the corner of her eye, it was intentionally done, just to make you misunderstand. What? I was stunned. There's such reverse maneuvering. But Grace, can't you use your brain a little? You encounter something and without even asking me, you just push your husband out. Jack looked at me with some frustration. For some reason, my eyes started to well up with tears. Because you never said you liked me. Because I always thought you married me for that one night. And your family doesn't like me either. Tina and others look down on me. I'm plain, ordinary, even insignificant, from a single-parent family. I've never dared to wish you'd love me. Just a little bit of like would be enough. But they said you had someone you loved in your heart. Tears started falling one by one. I didn't dare to ask. I was afraid you'd admit it. Grace, do you think if I loved someone else, I'd marry someone I didn't love? Do you belittle yourself, or me, Jack? I was just too scared. Cared too much. And you're not afraid, turning a fake situation into reality. I guiltily looked away. That would just be my bad luck. But then again, if you so easily choose someone else, it means you'd eventually cheat anyway. So it's a timely loss. I think you really need some sense knocked into you. Jack got mad at me again. He locked the door with a cold face and started taking off his watch. Jack, I'm still having a fever, huh? He chuckled. Just right. Let me see how you are with a fever. You beast. I turned, terrified, and tried to run. Jack didn't chase after me. He just took off his watch and loosened his tie. When I reached the bedroom door, he caught up with just a few strides and directly pushed me onto the bed. There's something else. As Jack's kiss descended, he suddenly stopped. What's going on between you and Kirk? I was so angry I felt like kicking him. Jack, do you think if I liked Kirk, I'd marry you? Maybe you just felt you owed me for that night and had to accept my proposal. Do you know, Kirk was there that night too. If I liked him, why would I let you take me away? Jack looked at me for a long while. Then, he grasped my chin and kissed me deeply. Grace, I believe you. But from now on, can you stop meeting with Kirk? You're jealous, huh? I just don't like other men eyeing my wife. Maybe you're overthinking it. I'm a man. You think I can't see what he's up to? Stop overthinking. To me, he's just like a senior. Fine, either way, you won't be seeing him anymore. Why not? His overseas project has some issues. He won't be back for 3 to 5 years, if at all. Jack. But he'd already pinned my wrists and kissed me deeply. Grace, let's try the 5th position now. But it's still daytime. How about waiting for the evening? No, it's clearer in the daylight. Jack held my wrists tightly, and with a slight force, pulled me into his arms. Sit up straight. The overly intimate position left my entire face burning red. The curtains were drawn, but a sliver of light slipped through, landing precisely on me, bouncing along with me. Jack pushed away the hair draping over my chest. Grace. I turned my face away, shutting my eyes tight, refusing to look at him. Are you returning it? I bit my lip in silence, shaking my head instead. But each shake, he would move. In the end, I could only stammer, breathless. No, not returning, Jack, not returning it. What did you call me, Jack? The sharp smack sound startled me. I stifled a sound of grievance. Husband. Don't cry. He kissed away my tears, his lips moving to the little mole at the corner of my eye, lingering affectionately for a long, long while. Life is long, like a dream in the night. I silently made a wish deep in my heart. May this dream never end. May Jack and Grace stay together forever. The end.